or harder?
It will depend on the author.
Yes, for Being Maria, it is the second film that I do with Jessica, the director. So we know very well each other, and we respect a lot each other, which is the most important thing. So yes, it's for each film, for each collaboration, it's a different way of working. So we are like a couple, and it's like a wedding, and we hope to get longer, and above all to finally to do the film that we were dreaming about. And for Being Maria, we thought that we think that we succeeded.
It's the same for me. For our film with Romain, it's a remake, so the challenge was less difficult maybe than for an original script. And the challenge for us was to find, because we wanted to make a real adaptation for France, so the challenge was to try to find someone to be able to reach that goal, and we think that Wilfried, who is the director, has made a very good job with Olivier Ducret, and we are very happy. But it's like a marriage. I completely agree. It depends on the character of the writer.
We have two actors here, Sanda and Melvil. From an actor's standpoint, is it better when you're being directed by someone who wrote the words?
Actually, not really, because I made many movies with authors who wrote and directed at the same time, and since I'm making more than before TVs, it's different because you have authors and directors. Normally they are not the same people, usually they are not the same people. And since your part is so long, because you make like 6 hours of a movie, the actor is more in charge of his character. I feel like it's more a teamwork. And sometimes when I made, for instance, this TV show that I'm presenting here, In the Shadow, after a while I felt like I was more able to direct myself, my own self, than the director. I would know more about the character than even the writers themselves. So it's a different job for me. And at the end, I think I deserve to be credited as a screenwriter.
Bravo!
I'd like to, Sanda. Okay. Okay. All right. Period film. I'd like to talk for a second about period films, because we always get some great period films here, and it's something that is part of the proud French tradition. And it always seems to be the first thing that no one wants to make here. If it's period, it's off the list. And if you see lists of what they want for networks, the first thing that they do not want is anything that's period. So, Jérôme, I'd like to hear from you, having just composed a score for a very large and famous period film. Is that a richer activity for a composer, or is it all sort of the same to you?
Hello. No, it's not the same at all, because usually in France, music is not so important in a movie. Some are, but usually. For a movie like this, it was built like an opera, so the music is very important in it, and for me as a composer, it was a great experience to work on this movie. Everybody knows the Count of Monte Cristo around the world. It's a very famous book, and the idea of adapting the movie was to make something just different and new, because there were many versions of the book before, of the movie, and so it was really wonderful to make this music, because it has to be epic, and at the same time it has to be the inside of the characters, because all the book and the story is about revenge and love, and so it's very rare to have this kind of opportunity for composer in a movie.
Anne, I'm going to come back to you, and then also Marielle. Both of your films are also period, but fact-based, and that adds an additional challenge. You're not just recreating the period, but you're recreating real characters and real events. Talk a little bit about some of those challenges and how those are approached both as a filmmaker and as a producer, in your case, Maria.
Sorry. Yes, the film is based on Vanessa Schneider's novel. Vanessa was the cousin of Maria Schneider, and the director Jessica Palus, she wanted to do a film through the look of Maria Schneider, and that means that all of the film is through the look of the actress. So is subjective look, and it is real facts, but according to Maria. And the film is based only on this character, which is the strong way of doing this film, because we didn't want to do a documentary on Maria Schneider's life. Jessica wanted to do something modern, something universal about this young actress.
C'est à moi.
À toi.
Ah,
Oui, bien sûr.
Alors, je ne vais pas parler l'anglais là parce que je sens que c'est une question très, très intéressante sur la modernité et sur l'époque.
So I'm not going to speak in English because I think it's a really interesting question about modernity and about an era.
Et en fait, je dis à mon chef décorateur dès le départ qu'il faut trahir en partie l'époque.
So I tell my set designer from the beginning that he has to betray the era.
It's to put things that are not exactly and to be alive, you know, because if you have too much bon, j'ai parlé en anglais, bon, je suis perdue.
Are you doing very well, Anne?
Non, c'est pathétique. mais alors vous avez dit, non mais là c'est pas la peine de traduire. En fait, j'ai fait Coco avant Chanel, qui est un film sur la jeunesse et le fait d'être sur la jeunesse d'un personnage mythique permet une beaucoup plus grande invention et interprétation et de ne pas être scolaire sur la représentation.
So I did Coco before Chanel, so it was before a certain era, and I didn't have to stick too much to all the interpretations that had been done before.
Et pour Ravel, je vais pas parler pendant des heures, hein, mais pour Ravel, il m'est arrivé une chose extraordinaire, c'est de tourner dans la vraie maison du personnage.
Oh, what was amazing is that for Ravel, I actually had the chance, the luck to shoot in the house of the character.
It was amazing, as you say, because it's very rare to be with the true things, the bed, the piano, everything was from him. And j'ai pu, avec le maire, non mais vous riez, mais c'est vrai, avec le maire, lui dire que c'était quelque chose d'essentiel de tourner là.
So I told the mayor of the town that it was something essential for me to be able to shoot in that place, location.
Et c'était un type pas facile à convaincre.
And it was a guy that was not easy to convince.
Mais c'est ça, faire du cinéma, c'est de se dire ce type est impossible, mais on va y arriver.
So that's also to make movies, is that sometimes there are things that are impossible, but you tell yourself, I'm going to do it anyway. And I'll
Sorry, I didn't answer, but you like it.
Great, terrific. I'd like to switch to television for a second, and for Marc and Melvil to talk a little bit about why you think that French television has taken off to such a degree. And it's sort of global television has taken off because of streaming, but it also seems like something has happened in French television that is unique just in the past few years, and I'd love your thoughts on that.
J'avoue que moi-même, à une époque, je méprisais un peu la télévision et la télévision française En tout cas, quand j'ai commencé à faire du cinéma, je me disais, je ne veux absolument pas faire de la télévision. Enfin, il y avait vraiment ces deux familles qui ne se rencontraient jamais, et même les castings étaient très différents. C'est-à-dire qu'il y avait des acteurs de télévision ou de séries et des acteurs de cinéma.
So I have to admit, there was a time when I actually hated TV, and I hated French TV. And at the time, those were two worlds that didn't really, come together. There are two separate worlds: the world of the movies, the world of TV. There are completely different casts. There were different actors. There were TV actors. There were film actors, and so those were, separate at that time.
Et alors effectivement, 10% avait le mérite de parler de cinéma, mais d'être une série de télévision. Donc d'une certaine manière, c'était une façon de pouvoir enfin mixer ces deux sujets. Et très vite, on s'est rendu compte que les comédiens maintenant, et Melvil en parlera mieux que moi, enfin, n'ont plus peur de faire de la télévision, n'ont plus peur de faire de la série, et au contraire sont même plus excités parfois par des projets de séries où ils peuvent vraiment développer des personnages.
So once this started mixing up, things became interesting, and it also became more interesting for the actors. The actors weren't really tied to any more, doing movies or doing film, and they weren't afraid anymore. I mean, doing TV or doing film, they weren't afraid anymore to go on TV, right? And they actually discovered that they could discover and develop their character even further if they were doing a TV show as opposed to a movie.
Et après, je dirais juste que le problème qu'on rencontre un peu encore en France, c'est que tout ce qui est série, télévision, etc., doit se tourner extrêmement vite, beaucoup plus vite qu'un film de cinéma, parce qu'on a moins d'argent, et finalement, ça influence aussi beaucoup le cinéma, les tournages de films de cinéma. C'est-à-dire qu'on ne cesse de vous dire que puisque vous arrivez à faire ça à la télévision, pourquoi vous ne faites pas pareil au cinéma? Et là, soudain, on regrette un peu d'avoir mis les pieds dans la série, parce qu'on se dit que voilà, on n'aura plus le droit de revenir à des temps de tournage de cinéma classique.
What happened too is that, series for television, you actually shoot a lot faster, right, than when you shoot a film. And that also means that it costs less money. But what happened is that ended up affecting the movies too, because they're saying, oh, they can do all these things in a TV show, and they can do it so fast and for so much less money, so why don't we shoot the films like that too? And so in the end, that means, now the movies have to actually adapt to that kind of filmmaking as well.
Yeah, from my point of view, it's true that maybe 10 years ago I would not have done a TV show, like a primetime TV show, but things have changed. And like you said, for actors now it's less compartmented between the actors that makes only art house movies, theater and TV. For instance, the guy who was the lead in Monte Cristo, he began with acting in La Comédie Française theater, and he's also a comedian. And so this new generation is able to switch a bit more like American or English actors from TV to theater to big movies. And of course, I think we improved our skills in making TV shows in France after the golden age of American TV shows, TV series. And so, of course, the products we are producing in France are much better now than they were 10 years ago.
Can I add something?
Yes, by all means.
Because I think COVID and the strike here made production American productions turn their eyes to Europe, because we could shoot movies in Europe during COVID and during the strike, and it's not that the French productions became better, it's the American audience became more aware and open to something else. That's also, thanks to the streamers, suddenly something went worldwide, when for us, when we were doing TV in France, it would stay in France. Now it's going worldwide. And now the American audience, I don't know, maybe you're telling me I'm wrong, but I think for you now to watch something in Swedish or Spanish or Italian or French, you have the subtitles and you're more aware than 10 years ago. It's less foreign for you now than it used to be. So it's also what happened.
Well, on that point, then, I would like to talk about documentaries and start with Christine, because it's been reported that streaming has actually made it, even though it's opened the audience up to more documentaries, it's made it possible for more documentaries to be seen. It's making it harder on independent documentarians because Netflix and all of these streamers are making their own documentaries.